Today we're going to learn how to create a soundtrack for a video game using GarageBand and Apple Loops. The first thing we need to do is find a video game visual that we are going to compose to. So I've just gone to YouTube and searched some video games, so you can do the same sort of a thing. The video game that I've chosen to work with is Middle Manager of Justice. Once you've found the video game you want, we need to copy the link, and then we need to go over to a website called savefrom.net, or you can choose any other downloading site that you know of. We're going to paste the link that we just copied into the box, and then we're going to click download, and that should download onto your computer. From there, we need to make sure that we save our downloaded file into the movies folder on our computer. If it's not saved in the movie folder, you won't be able to download it in GarageBand later. Next, we need to open GarageBand. So we need to double click on Launchpad, and then we need to find GarageBand and double click on that. Once GarageBand is open, you should have this screen come up. We need to double click on Empty Project. That will then prompt you to choose a new track. So we're just going to choose the software instrument for now. Once you've chosen software instrument, the keyboard will come up. We just need to delete that. We're not using that today. The next step is to go over to the far right of our screen and click on the Media tab. As you can see, it has a camera with music notes. We need to click on the Movies tab. The Movies folder will be highlighted, and our video game that we have just downloaded should be in that folder. So once you've got that, we need to drag that into our session. So we just drag it into anywhere that has a blank space. The window will automatically come up with our video game. We just need to minimize that, put that to the side for the moment. We don't need it just yet, but we'll need it a little later on. Okay, next thing we have to do is delete the original music that goes with our video game. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the track, make sure that it's highlighted. Then we're going to right click and choose Delete Track. You will have a little message screen come up. That's okay. We just need to select OK for that. Okay, the next thing we're doing is we're going to click on the loops. Now the loops tab is basically just a little loop up next to our media tab. As you can see, we have a variety of different loops that we can use. We have blue loops and we have green loops. The difference between the green and the blue loops is the blue loops are audio files, whereas the green loops are MIDI. The MIDI files can actually be adjusted and changed a little bit to your needs. So just to show you an example, I'm going to click on the drums, and you can actually hear the examples of them when we click on the left hand side of the loops. Once you've found a loop that you like, what you're going to do is you're going to drag it into the session. You're going to drag it into the place that says drag Apple Loops here. This will create a new track for you. Say that you have dragged the loop in, but you don't like where it's actually sitting. You can actually highlight that track or that loop, and you can drag it to where you would like it to be. So you can drag it from any place on the loop, as long as it's highlighted, of course. Once we've placed our loop in the place that we like it, we can play the video back to see if it works with what we've got in the visual. The box we dragged to the bottom of the screen earlier is actually our visual box. So while we're playing the music, we can see whether the music fits with our video game. Now I've decided that I like those, I can probably add a few more in. So we'll just add some there, a few more there, and that one one more maybe. Yep. Okay, so once we've finished with that one, we can actually reset our screen and we can choose a variety of different instruments. So we have things like instruments that we can choose. We've also got different genres that we can choose from. So there are all different kind of loops that we can choose. We've got sound effects as well. So it's just a matter of working our way through the screen and seeing what we think will fit with our visual media. So I'm going to go to orchestra. Let's check this out. So that sounded pretty good. So I'm just going to drag these in to the file where I think that sounds pretty good. Maybe use a little one. That one, yeah, that one sounds alright. So then we're just going to play it, see if we like it. So I like that, but I didn't particularly like this one. So to delete one, which is completely fine, if you don't like it, we can delete it. We just highlight it and then we click the delete button on our keyboard. An important tool that we need to use is our master fader. So if we go up to track and we click show master track, that'll show us our master fader, which controls all of the volumes of all of the different tracks in our record or in our loop composition. So I'm just going to delete these because I probably should have put them in different tracks. I'm just going to do this again. Just drag it down to the bottom where it says drag loops here. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, there are now a variety of different tracks in our composition. So as we can see, the master fader shows us the volume. We can use the single tracks to bring down their volume, bring up their volume if it's too loud for our liking, if it's too soft. We can also pan from left to right by using the pan swivel button. So these are just some different volume options you have for your composition. Now the master fader should always stay at the same level. However, if it is going up into the red, we should probably bring that down a little bit. So I'm just playing around with some of the sounds at the moment, see how I like it. I'm just going to show you the difference between the green loops and the blue loops. As I said earlier, the green loops are what we call MIDI files. So they can actually be altered as opposed to the blue loops, which are in wave format or audio files. So you can see the difference in those when we have a look at them. You've got the MIDI, yep, and then your wave files. So if we just double click on the MIDI file, it'll come up with a piano. You can also go into a score format and you can choose to alter those if you wish. So the last thing I need to show you is how to export your movie. So we need to go into File, then Movies, then Export Audio and Movie. Then we need to name our file. So I'm just calling it Miss Maxwell's Composition. We're going to save it to our desktop so that we can drag it onto our device easier later, and then we're going to choose Save. So once you're happy with the composition, this is what you're going to do. You're going to export it to the desktop, and it's going to basically combine your composition with the visual, the video game visual, and then you are going to upload it to YouTube so that I can mark you on what you've done. So here's just a composition that I prepared earlier. If you do have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask me either in class or via email. But happy composing!